All right, I did a reset of my internet. Hopefully that'll fix the issue here. Please let me know in chat if I'm skipping or anything, or my speech isn't working all right. Glad to hear it, Larry, and welcome. I knew there was a block for that. I just forgot. All right, I'm glad I found that one. Thanks for having me, T Price. It was fun. Looking forward to next week. Now, I did say last night, it was pretty early in the morning. I forget a lot of what I was saying, but I do remember that I was going to make a max load secondary RCS and engine setup here. So I'm going to need to add extra RCS that I segregate to a secondary system. Now, to do that, it's easy enough. I'll just sort everything that I have. And then anything that goes ungrouped, be it RCS or generator, I'm going to put into a secondary. Well, no, I'm not going to put it into a secondary folder. I'm going to assign it to the specific signal. And then I can auto group, and that's fine. Because people auto group, I don't want. I used to do builds where I'd have my own custom folders, but, once somebody gets something, they want to organize it the way they want to organize it. So, instead of that, I'm going to assign the RCS specifically to a signal so that I can toggle them on and off. So, when you're not at max load, it's not overkill, you're not burning fuel. But when you need that extra power, you're going to be able to get to where you're going with this max thrust and RCS setting. So. I did say I was going to add some more upward thrust. That was the other thing. I needed to get to. Oh, what was the magic number that I was talking about last night? I really need to write crap down. I think it was like another meganewton or two. So, yeah, let's try to get this up. And again, these will also, I think, be added to the max thrust setting to add more upward thrust. And again, remember, this is just the basic shaping, so a lot of detail and cutting of these solid slopes and planes are gonna happen. Honestly, like after, I feel like maybe tonight I'll have more or less the basic shape and aspect of it, all the features and all that in it, and then probably there'll be probably two more sessions of just pure block texturing. And when I say block texture, I mean texturing with shapes, not texturing with the gun. And then we're gonna go into the texture gun and the paint gun and all that. So that's I feel like another because this is a lot, and it's for the challenge. I want to make sure it's good and everything. And yeah, so just bear in mind with that. What I'm doing right now is just trying to get all the weight on it so that I can test it with all the weight, and then from there we can make it look extra pretty and all that. Yeah, thanks, Dumpster. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of legacy builds and stuff. There's a lot of my builds that I did in the way beginning when I was trying to get fancy with all the groups and everything and trying to set stuff up that way. And that's before I was comfortable with signal logic. So now that I can set those things by signal, that really alleviates the need to have them in any one specific place using custom groups or whatever. So just makes it a lot easier. Yeah, it's just practice, 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 man. Just when you think you're done with a build, spend another day with a textured tool and just do what I'm doing. Just frantically go around the thing and just look at it and then just make little adjustments. And don't be afraid to try stuff. Don't be afraid to change stuff. If you feel real happy with the way something looks, take a copy of it and then mess with it, and you could always revert back if you need to, but don't get too married to something halfway through. Like, I might cut off this whole thing. I mean, you saw the last session, I literally widened this thing one and did some other stuff that I needed to do in order to get it the way I wanted it. That's just part of it. Yeah, I still need some secondary RCS in the back, so that's kind of what I'm trying to achieve now. I could actually, yeah, I could do this. Let's do that. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, I would say last night was kind of the same for me. I don't usually get this far into a build in one sit down, but sometimes you can just, yeah, I mean, sometimes it just flows, so you just continue it, they don't stop. So, there's been a couple builds like that for me, like, the, uh, the ads, my, ADZE, tank. I don't know if you guys have seen it in my workshop, but that literally took me 3 hours. Like, that thing just fell together. It was crazy, and I was done with it. Now I probably would have spent an extra day doing some more texturing and stuff, but back then I was real happy with it, and it's a good little mid-level HV. But then there's other things that have just taken me forever, like the EOD super tool. Took me weeks and weeks and weeks because I did a lot of extra detail and stuff. So, but yeah, for you to come up with something like that pretty quick, that's badass, man. Because that's a cool looking SV. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, Dumpster. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need some more fuel tanks on this thing. This is no bueno, especially with the secondary max thrust setting. I'm gonna be flying for like 20 seconds. This thing's gonna fall to the ground. So I'm definitely gonna need to bury another, God, I'd say at least 4 fuel tanks, at least. God, yeah. Um, the tricky thing is where. I mean, you really don't want to mess around with putting fuel tanks in the wrong places. Now, I could definitely, yeah, I could put some down here. I mean, it's at least a block of coverage here. Let's do that. Take advantage of some of this situation here. Not next to that, but that. So that's 4 right there. Oh man, I got I got plenty of scrap designs. I got Man, I got crap in my blueprints that, oh man, some of the stuff that I haven't finished. I'll show you one here just for the sake of argument. Where's that thing? Um, what is this? Oh, that's just it's literally just a multi-turret. What's this? Oh, I don't know what that is. That's something I haven't put out yet. That's pretty much done, but I haven't put that one out. Oh, so there's this thing. uh, yeah, never finished this. I didn't like the way it looked. I was trying to build a really huge CV that you can go in and out but still be protected with your tanks. And yeah, it's just too much. I mean, huge hangar bay, like ridiculous amount of room here, right? But and you got the blockage going out, but I didn't like the look of it at all. Not only do you have that hangar bay, but you have this huge area here, bridge. You have all this. You have a landing bay for like a cargo SV. And then you have this huge SV bay with two big spots up top that you can go down into with SVs. But yeah, just too much. And then it looked like a freaking ghost when you look down at it. So it looks so weird. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it. So I stopped and not for me. Where's the other one? There's another one I built that oh, I'm wondering if I don't have it for some reason. I'm kind of scared now. Heavy fighter. Oh, that's the katana. Oh, here it is. Yeah, so I still haven't finished this one either. Cause especially now with the CPU thing looming, like I don't think I'll ever finish this. But this is supposed to be like the mothership. This is the flagship for SAS basically, the Saber One. But it's just so big. So when I built this, I actually cut it in half, and that's what the Shiroseiya Daisho is actually half of this. So you can you notice the back kind of looks like it. Of course, I did a lot more work after the fact on the day issue, but more or less the same thing. Same thing inside, more or less, just not finished. Yeah, so never finished it. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot. So yeah, no, I know all about scrapping. Just to, just to put that in perspective. And forget about all the SVs, I mean, I had a lot of stuff that I got rid of. Daisho, Daisho. Yeah, he's good with accents actually. He's pretty damn good with accents. You should get him on a tangent where he's just doing all the different like British, Scottish accents and stuff. It's pretty funny. I made this at one point. I never finished it. This is like a turret placement HV. Kind of cool. Just something that you can just kind of place somewhere and it protects you. Never finished it. Anyway, let me get back to this here. Precisely. Yeah, that was built for the MSG challenge. I just never finished it. I got a little frustrated with the I was trying to figure out how to get in it. Like I didn't want to do just a door in the front and back. I was trying to find a clever way to do it and I never really got around to it. But yeah, heavily armored. And it's all what's cool is it's all retractable. So you just deploy that bad boy and roll. Uh-oh. Luckily, I steal Jay Randall's color palette, so that's more or less what it was. I think it was a little lighter. I think it was this one. Yeah, it was darker than that. Damn it. Oh, that'll do. Alright, so I gotta figure out the bottom of this. This will definitely be like a hump here. Let's see. So yeah, definitely, you know, you want to keep these things protected. You can do that by using the specific blocks that are the 200 hit points, which would be this lineup of angles here. Yeah, I don't like how sharp that is though. It's not usually. I'm trying to wonder why. Well, it's because of the thrusters underneath here. I have to do that. It's a lot though. Let's see how this goes here. So if I do that, well, that's a full block, not necessarily. Yeah, I don't really want to do half blocks. Yeah, I really wish half blocks were 200 as well. No, I don't want to do that. Let's I don't know why I even play stuff like that. I know I'm just gonna tear it down, and then it's annoying tearing it down. Cause yep, you always remove something you didn't mean to remove. Damn it. Oh, well, I guess I haven't placed any small, so yeah, that's okay. Cause remember, I still have to label those things. So let me do that now before I get too far into messing stuff up here. All right, so let's make max load. Yeah, I don't know, the all uppercase thing always looks a bit extreme. All right, max load. Now we're gonna do the fun part of, okay, so not that, but all of these are gonna go under max load. God, I wish I could do all these at once. That'd be awesome. All right, so they're all gonna follow this this setting, and you know we'll test this, and we can adjust this accordingly when we're in survival testing and whatnot. But God, it's gonna take a long time. But I don't wanna get too far into it, and then I don't know what's what, because these are pretty evenly distributed on the front, midships, and aft. So I don't wanna mix them up, and then you know it's not even, and you're getting kind of weird. I mean, I guess if you had it all anyway, it's not like you're trading one for the other, but still, just to be even, we can keep it this way. Nah, no, so um, I don't know. I guess I just kind of stick with it, right? I mean, that's why I'm kind of I like streaming the builds lately, especially because it just shows you kind of how I process stuff. So usually with like well with any build more or less, I build the function first. Function's always going to be the most important thing to me over looks, over anything else. So only because I've continued to work at it have I gotten better at looks. But I've always been about, solving issues, engineering my way out of a problem in the game. So that's always the most important thing to me. So, like CVs, I'll build the hangar first every time because I need to make sure that the vessels I want to carry are gonna fit. And I'll literally spawn the vessels into the hangar. I'll dock them. I'll build around them so that they have enough. So like when I did the Shirosei, I did that. I literally took 6 tac tools and I docked them side by side going sideways, and I wanted to make sure that the entire hangar door was still completely open so that you can fly an SV into it, so that you could fly another tank into it. So all that was done prior, and then I just built around that. So, I do get people, they tell me, your stuff's boxy, your stuff's, it's not sleek, and that's why. It's because I'm building literally a big brick, and then I'm building around that brick. And that's more or less what I'm doing, right? So okay, so now we've God, we're really married to the name Max Load because I'm not changing that. All right, so now we've auto grouped it, but you can see Max Load is well, everything's off in it. But okay, so 101 power left, but once I turn this on, we're down to 50. Didn't change too much, but as you can see, the thrusters aren't all being used. Let's do RCS here. We'll set this group to RCS. So now you can change stuff with the custom groups and the signals, and one's gonna not really mess with the other. So you can see now that not all the RCS is on, but when I turn this on, both thrusters and RCS are solid on. So there we go. Now yeah, that's wild. 0 fucks are being given to CPU. I don't care. At this point, like, I don't care. Like, what are we trying to achieve here? You're gonna have to give me a really good reason why I need to care about CPU, because I don't see how it's possible. I don't see how we're gonna build anything of substance. Yeah, worrying about that. I just don't see it. So, I know there'll be something to figure out. I'm sure it'll work out, but yeah, as of now, I'm not worried about it. I appreciate it vaguely. Yeah, I mean it takes learning. I mean, the way I learned really the way I learned how to build was just tearing other people's crap up. Yeah, shaping's a big one. And like I literally didn't know how the shapes work together. So I had to tear people's stuff apart. So mainly Jay Randall's stuff. I started building when he was first kind of putting out good shit. So he put out the MX-8. He put out the Chimera. When he came out with that Chimera, man, oh boy, that thing blew me away. I was like, I didn't know what to do with that thing. That thing was amazing. Where is it? I don't think he has it called. It's not part of the Merc series. There it is. Chimera Happy. When he came out with this thing, right? And I saw what you could do with these shapes and how he made that thing look like some kind of crazy jaguar leaping midair. I was just blown away by this. This blew my damn mind. I was like, holy crap. And, you know, it still looks militarized. It just looks like a transformer, like mid, you know, transforming. Like, it looked crazy. It looked like Starscream just going nuts, you know? And yeah, I mean, and then it's still cool inside. It's still really functional, and you know, I'd put a passenger seat here and there. I'd mess with some LCD art, but more or less, you know, I left it the way it was. And yeah, I mean, I tore this apart and I looked at how he got the shapes like that, and you know, and then like the one other the one other guy that always had my mind blown was where is it? Was Super Killin'. Where's that older build? See, he's done a lot of cool newer stuff, but yeah, this one right here. This thing just blew my damn mind. Just the detail in this thing. And he's chaotic. I mean, I could never feel good about the way he does these shapes. I could never do that. Like all that that's crazy. But it looks so cool the way he does it. And his asymmetrical stuff, and I mean, just the look of that is insane. The wings, and you go in there and it's just, you know. So, you know, you just take inspiration where you could find it, and you just go from there. And you know, I definitely have my own style, but you know, I also borrow from everybody the same way that everybody does. And you know, that's what it's all about. There's only so many shapes, right? So it's, you know, we're not recreating anything. We're basically you know, we're all using the same palette. So it's just kind of learning what to do with everything. Yeah, like I don't normally do this shape this sideways with this frontal, but I wanted to get a big, you know, it's a cargo ship, but I didn't want it to be super sleek. I wanted it to be kind of thick, and you know, I've never built an SV this big, so I wanted to do something a bit bigger here. But now I'm a little bit weirded out by how this turned out on the side here. I figure out how I'm gonna slope this in. Problem is I'm using this triangle, and this only has the one other shape that's it's gonna do that. I don't want to necessarily finish it off like that, but yeah, I just have an inability to meet shapes that aren't finished, like Super Killin' does. Um, Jay Randall does it too, definitely, like that, stuff like that. Um, but his transitions from curves to blocks are awesome. And this is one of his early builds, and I mean, you could just see how good it is. And everything he's done thus far has just gotten better and better. Uh, I I don't. Well, I do on CVs. Yeah, I have a hard time with CVs. Anything bigger than like the forge and stuff, I get burned out. But when I get burned out, I just go and I build something else. But the actual building in the game, it hasn't happened yet. Because I'm always, like for instance, last night I started this till about what was it, like 2 a.m. my time. Today I started messing around with this just because I'm always trying to solve an issue, and now with Alpha 9, there's so many new issues. It's insane the amount of things that we need to build now in order to be efficient in this game. So I wanted to do a sled kind of thing, but I didn't want it to necessarily look like a sled, just a basic sled. I want it to be a fully functional companion to your miner as you're going planet side. So this doesn't have a warp drive, but basically it's got enough cargo to hold a good amount of. So you can see this is only a third of the way full. You can fit all this stuff in the cargo, and then it's got 4 of the small constructors to take it down to ingots. So yeah, I've been messing around with that. So when you're mining, you could be transferring this thing over and getting stuff cooked out while you're going. It's got the protection you need with the 4 turrets, sentry guns, and it's got the clone chamber and everything you need basically, other than grow plots and warp drive, of course. Which I mean, don't I may put a warp drive on it. I don't think so, but I may. But this is kind of based on a design that I did with a buddy of mine a while back called the Tarawa. It's actually his. It's on his workshop, but I'm contributor credit to it. And this is after a Navy. Um, oh gosh, I'm forgetting it. I'm ex-Navy. Uh, Starts with an L. But basically, it's a ship where they move. It's a hovercraft, and they move tanks across water. So that's basically what that emulates. And it's got everything, but it's dated now because of the cargo and Alpha 9 and all that. So I'm just trying to do something a little more efficient and smaller with that there. So I'll be working on that probably tomorrow or later or something. Oh yeah, Larian, dude, I'm all about it. Cause especially with this build, that's the function for this. It's breaking down into ingots as you're going. You're not necessarily crafting stuff on the go like that. You're doing that back at your base or whatever. And I may find a way to put an advanced constructor in there, maybe one, but yeah, not too important. I don't need to do everything. I mean, it has pretty much everything, but I don't need to incorporate every actual thing in the game and every build. It's just not gonna work anymore. Yeah, totally. Yeah, really hyped for that. I think they're moving in a good way. They're thinking of some cool stuff, and yeah, I think it's just gonna get better and better as they're releasing some of this new stuff. All right, let's seal up this bottom here. So I've got these here, and I don't actually mind that. It kind of adds to the look of it, but I do need to protect them. Mm. Yeah, I just have to close them off. Not really a better way to do that with that other angle. It's fine. So, mm, Yeah, definitely. I think that's what they were going for too. I'm really hoping that's the direction they're going because, people were kind of, there wasn't a whole lot left to really build. Um, I mean, you could just, you could make things more efficient, but as far as creatively, there wasn't a lot left. So this is just giving us an entire, yeah, I mean, not only are we recreating stuff that's outdated, to make it current, but we're also, fixing all these new issues in the game that we didn't even have before. So yeah. Ooh. No, I don't think there's one for that. No, I can't use this one. That's not it, right? I'm hoping this new shape just solves every one of my shaping problems, but I don't think that's yeah, it's not gonna happen. Yeah, because I'm going down and I'm trying to meet that with this, and it's not very realistic here. So let's see what else I can do. So this is the shape that gets me to that. So yeah, I guess we're gonna have to do something like that. So let's yeah, let's do this. That's not gonna work. It's gonna be this, and then this. And then we'll fix this to be that. That works. Can't put anything under there because of the ramp. All right. I don't like how sharp this is though. Let's see if we could transition that bit better here so it's not so, I think this. Well, I guess that's, yeah, that's kind of the way I have it with that, right? But then, okay, let's see if we can. It would be this. Am I gonna kill myself? Let's try this. See, this is what I was talking about, not worrying about tearing crap up. But then you could get yourself into an issue here, messing your stuff up. So yeah, so that's gonna go out too much. That's gonna look weird. So the other trick is texturing. So when they give you this default texture, it's kind of misleading when you're building. So sometimes I get to a point where I've got some weird angles working against each other and it just looks odd. So that's when you just do an all option and then just paint it the straight up slick texture, and then you can get a better idea of the shapes working together. And sometimes it kind of clears it up for you as far as the planes. But then lighting plays an issue too. So you see lighting's reacting differently to that angle versus that angle. So it's still, yeah, it's not what I'm looking for still. So still want to mess with it a little bit here. So the only reason I go back to this is if I add blocks, it'll be that, and then it'll get annoying. So let's continue to take this in a bit at that angle. See what we come up with here. So now that's playing against it. So let's get rid of these. Yeah, because that's okay. I can mess with that something else here. So it might be that I'll have to fix this. So let's see how this works. So that's going to take this to the full block, and I definitely don't want that. I want to keep that angle. So let's see. Yeah, no, there's no way to it's either gonna overlap or not. Now I could do cut it short like that, but yeah, it still doesn't meet up in a way I like. So uh hmm. Oh, so that's cool. So that met up with that. So that cleans that plane up a bit. I mean, I did kind of like the transition of that, but um, let's see here. Oh, now it would just be. See, I'm afraid I'm gonna mess that up, and I really like this top part. Let's see. I already tried this, right? And it was weird. Let's see here. Now, what if I did this though? I just went up like that, but then I'm gonna run into where it's yeah. Yeah, there's just no damn. It's no good way to do it. See, this just becomes too much of an angle here. Let's see. Oh, it's kind of working here, huh? It's not bad. That looks a lot better. Hmm. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. Let's what? Okay, I'm kind of happy about that. What do you guys think? That actually cleans it up a whole lot, especially at the bottom here, and then it marries to that. And it flows out. It's not a lot of weird angles kind of hitting each other. That works out well. Yeah. You come up here, do your little business if you just want this quick, and you enter on into the area. Nice. Yeah, I think that looks alright. I'm sure I'll mess with it more. Ah, Kargui is the goal. Oh, because that's there. Yeah, let's not do that here. Whoop. I'll get to piping later, otherwise I'm gonna lose my mind doing that all day. Alright, so that's closed out somewhat. Alright, let's just finish this little part here. Alright, so this crosses over fully. Alright, so let's just solid this out for now. And we'll clean it up. Lots of space here. So that's only one block. I don't want to mess with that. Yeah, it's got a lot of armor. It's definitely got a lot of armor, but this thing's gonna be heavy as hell too. Think once I block this thing out, it's gonna perform differently than it did when we tested it last night. So we're gonna see how that goes. Now that we've got the new thrust on there, yeah, we're a bit over, but we're not super over. But I could totally still add some small thrust, upward thrust. So I'm not too worried about that. We still have room. But then of course that's gonna just add more. That's just gonna add more need for power and all that stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Let's continue. Oh, the core's gotta go somewhere, eh? Forgot about the core. Yeah, I don't. Oh, that's right. I did leave a space for the core. That was smart of me. Yeah. So that's nuts. I turned off the power and it was still 32%. I think that's the extensions. That's crazy. All right, so yeah, now we need to get rid of these actually. Here, let's do that. Because this was just a placeholder for me to know the the lowest block, but I don't need those here. Let's. Yeah. All right. Cool. So okay. So this is weird. I didn't anticipate this. So these are extensions. That's a problem. Yeah, we can't have that. That's a big problem. So we're gonna need to remove these because I can't block the thrusters, and I don't want. Yeah, I don't want these to be susceptible to fire here. Let's get rid of these and these. So what does that do to this? We're at 3005, so we're gonna have to replace those. I think along here we'll do it. So let's grab some more extensions. Okay, we're back at 32. So yeah, I mean we're gonna protect everything else, so I'm not worried about that. We'll fix that, but yeah, for right now we need to. Okay, so let's grab some serious power drain. Try not to even use them on CVs. Yeah, it's nuts. I mean CVs you can get away with it too, right? Because you know the default cargo isn't all that bad. You know you just gotta use a bunch of the things, right? So let's see. Bunch of the regular cargo. So I'm gonna add that. And then can I get away with another one? Could do that if I wanted to, but that's gonna look kind of weird, isn't it? That looks weird. Oh, right, because, look at that, that's clever. Okay, let's do that. So that gives me double. Yeah, that's double. So the reason I do this is, eventually they're going to, prevent you from sealing your thruster, exhaust. And they urged everybody to use non-airtight things like these window shutters and stuff in the meantime. So that's what I'm doing. So this basically gives you 200 hit points, the same as a block, and I just got double right there. So this is actually, this is double protecting the thrusters while still, you know, still being legal basically. So that's actually more secure than most of the ship. So that works. So yeah, I mean it takes Sathium, so you don't want to do it on starter builds. But whoa, why do I have a restroom in Zircosium? What the hell is using a restroom in Zircosium? Oh, right. Wow. Yeah. Okay. I just gotta put regular rockets on there. Well, well, well. Everything takes those. Yeah. Thanks, Elaine. Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. So we're more or less sealed up here. So now everything else is getting it the way I want it to look. Adding the little cues and everything. So this top here is just a big massive. I don't know. I really wish I could mount like my auger on there, dock it. I could dock a regular SV on here if I wanted to. Hell, what was the last thing we just built? I already forgot. The slip joint. slip joint. Yeah, so the last thing we built in this series is the slip joint, by the way, and I did upload it today. It's actually on the front page right now. So you guys are welcome to grab that thing if you haven't already. Right here. Yeah, a little big, but you know, it could definitely dock if it had to. That's cool. That'd be cool, right? Yeah. Yeah, so this thing's turned out pretty good, I think. I'm pretty happy with it. This little mid-level SV. Ah, where'd my build go? There it is. Alright, so yeah, I just have to figure out what I want to do with the front of this thing. Um, the shape, the shape of it. I need to figure that out. So oh, these are the that's where I'm messing up here. It's these. Um, hmm. Yeah, yeah, they got a lot of work to do on it. Absolutely. Um, yeah, no doubt. I mean, you know, the main goal of the contest, definitely want to get some more builds going and get more stuff on the workshop for, the current issues in the game, but to be honest, the main aspect of the challenge is just to get people building. Um, Not only that, but get people building, as a group. And, you know, I mean, from when Spicy was doing it, I mean, the amount of people that, learned stuff from that and applied it to their builds, it was awesome. It was awesome to see. Like, what was the one? Was it Highlander? Yeah, I'm hoping I'm not mistaking who it was, but I feel like it was Highlander, and it was the vertical harvester thing. He did like the multiple harvesters, like I did on my HMM HD. Yeah. So he did a little miner, and he put them like this, and Yeah, we were like, why? And this thing has multiple points of contact, so it's actually 3 blocks of contact. So if a tree hits this one block, it only attacks it here. These two aren't in play. But if you do them vertical like this and you hit a tree, all 3 blocks are hitting that. So it's 3 times as efficient. So when you do 3 of them to 5 of them like that, it's almost an instant harvest. So it was stuff like that, and we all kind of learned that together doing the challenge. So I mean that's mainly what I'm trying to achieve. I just want to continue the community kind of building together and supporting each other, and you know otherwise you just get lost in the workshop and you don't know anybody, you don't know what anybody's doing. I gotta figure out what I want to do with this top here. Yeah, definitely. God, I wish the CV glass was on SV. That'd be awesome. I think I know what I'll do. So, long time ago, I built the Spay Blade, and let me spawn it so I remember what I did here. I didn't really know too much of what I was doing back then, but this is actually the only replica I've ever really built. This is actually one of Tony Stark's um, vessels in the comic books. And I just thought it was a cool concept to have like kind of a drop ship. Yeah, this isn't even on motion sensors. I think it's on, but I did these little deals, and not only is it an elevator, it gets you up here, but you know, it's cool like passenger situation. So try to do something like that on the top, I think. Get some more passenger options. This took me way too long. It was nuts. Trying to get these thrusters in close, and then you know I'm blocking them with this and everything. Just yeah. Yeah, so let's see if we can incorporate that. Now first we need to see where we're at here. Okay, so this would be the spot to do it. It's kind of weird right by the thrusters though, but yeah, it's a bit too much business right there already. Let's go to the back here and see what we got. So we got this little spot here. Let's dig into this. I think it's a 2x2 if I'm not mistaken here. Yeah, boom. So you could just hit the passenger seats right here and jump up in there. That's cool. That'll work. Let's protect them a bit here. Let's sharpening on this. Right on. Yeah, so see that kills this plane here. It was a little too much. Now I wonder, should we just meet it up like that? Yeah, probably. Now what else could we do to get this done? Okay, yeah, right. Let's check out this new deco situation we got here. Got some cool new deco blocks. Not a fan of the radar, I'll be honest with you. I actually hate the radar. Would it make sense on a build like this? Yeah, it actually would. But man, I don't know. It's kind of, yeah, I don't know. No, I don't like the radar. It's just a bit much. I wish it was smaller. So at one point the detector was a smaller version of that, and boy, I like that. I was so cool with that little radar. This thing's just too big. It's just too big. I don't like it. So let's see what we can do with these new blocks here. Could definitely do some cool shit like this. Yeah, it's too much. That's funny. So all these things are middle mount for the most part. So I guess, what are those supposed to be? Like, I guess they're supposed to be like fuel tanks or something? I don't know what they're supposed to be. Kind of weird to just have your fuel tanks just out like that, right? I don't understand that. It's kind of weird. Oh, I really like these though. These are cool. Take a lot of room though, but yeah, we could probably definitely get away with these on this one though. Let's see what we can do with these here. So I almost look at these as like being what are those things called? Like you know, like they I don't know. I guess the equivalent of like you know, something to go along with the braking. You know, it's to slow it down. Be cool if you could like move those with a signal or something. Yeah, it doesn't really. I don't want to mess with the sleekness of it. Even though this is thick, it's kind of, you know, it's got a sleek theme there. Air brakes, yeah, thanks. Oh, yeah, I didn't even look at what they're called. Yeah, that's a good point. Air brake, yeah, fair enough. Alright, so antenna. A little antenna wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad look. Let's I mean, I don't want one on each side. I think one would be kind of cool just by itself. Let's see how we feel about that. That might work. Alright, so we need to figure out what we're doing here. These are a bit small. We could do these big ones here. But then, you know, I got this. Yeah, we might have to take this another one here. Let's do that. So, no, let's go down one. So we're gonna make this thinner than the rest of it. And we're gonna finish it with that. No. No, that looks weird. Alright, let's do... Let's do that. That looks better. And then let's figure out this here. So this is an odd... These are... And obviously this is a half block, so I can't place anything on here. What I was hoping to do was... how about this? This is 2 blocks. So I could... Yeah, let's try that. So we'll do 1, 2 like that. Kind of make it like they're like little thrusters or something. Yeah, okay. Alright, so... Let's see here. I like these little guys. Hmm. Man, oh, yeah. I wish you could solid texture these things. Can you? Maybe you can now. Let's see here. No, it's always gonna be that. That's alright. Yeah, I think it's coming along. That definitely cleans up that blank space, though, I think. I think it looks alright. Not bad. Alright, let's carry this over so that that's consistent. So a lot of times when you're matching shapes and you're trying to blend shapes, you always want to kind of overlap so that they feel like they're part of one solid build. Otherwise, it looks kind of weird when you kind of separate them. It almost looks like the ship can separate physically. So this kind of feels like it's cutting off here at the edge, the way this shape is. So I need to finish that. This isn't finished. Let's clean this up here. So these have got to go at an angle at the end here. What's going on there? Alright, so, crap. Oh, we're good. Okay, I thought I just lost power. It beeped, so I did lose power for a second there, but I'm okay. Yeah. I have a, solar backup. Oh, I see. I did that. Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. Yeah, it just looked weird. When I texture, I'll clean that up to where it looks right. But that didn't look right with the solid everything. It looked weird. Yeah, so that's where core shading and everything comes into play. So that'll clean that up. This right here could look better. Here, let's remess with this part here and see if we can make this look better. So let's go this way with it instead of the other way. And then I think let's do this. Hit it with some of these here, just so you can kind of see the thrusters. Do you want to see that though? That looks kind of dumb. There. Yeah, we'll see in texture stage if that stays. Otherwise, we might have to change that to something. Oh, looks alright, didn't it? Looks better than what it did. Alright, so this business here. These, okay, so this is this small one. Yeah, I don't know, that looks weird there. I guess that's just the transition though. Yeah, we'll save that for texture and see if that continues to look that weird. Yeah, I'm kind of liking the shape of it now. I'm liking, alright, so let's do this. Let's fly this thing around for a second and see if it still moves. Now, yeah, I'm still not loving the, we're gonna need more fuel tanks. Alright, let's turn this on. We do the signal logic and all this later. it's definitely zippy at empty in creative. I mean, of course this isn't with weight and volume, but classic 8.0, this thing's a freaking powerhouse. Probably take a POI with this thing. Yeah, I mean, it just lifts quick. Okay, so this is with the standard. Now let's put the max max load on it here. Alright, so now you can see we're at 56 minutes. It's still damn good at nothing, right? That's with no load, weights and volumes and stuff, but now it definitely solved our power usage issues. I mean, I can go any which way and I'm not exceeding 68%, so that's good. RCS is definitely way more responsive now. Yeah, this is nice. So of course in survival it's gonna be a different story, and you know, we'll test that out on the next stream. Oh, that's something we can do right now real quick here. Play with these docking pads here. See where these are gonna go. Probably some with wings, like you always want to put them out on the wing, right? So I think that's a thing. Let's play with that a little bit here. So these, because I don't know which is which still. It's still kind of weird to me. Okay, so this is the heavy landing gear, and this is the light landing gear. Landing. I mean, what the hell's the difference between? What the hell is that? That's cool. What? Ah, really? Oh, that's cool. That's just small. Why didn't I use that on something? Oh, I like that. What? And it just like flips out or something? Oh, that's sweet. That's like nothing. You're just putting that on top of something. That's interesting. Okay. Not what we want though. We want heavy. This is a heavy boy. We need heavy. So alright, what are we doing here? This is a nod. That's a nod. I guess we don't have a choice. It's not gonna I mean, we could put so I guess we need to figure out how high profile we want this thing. We don't want it. Do we want it that high? Oh, I guess we kind of need to, right? So this is. All right, let's put this on here and see. Oh, right, I gotta inset it anyway. So confusing myself. All right. So 1, 2. Let's try that. It's 2, right? Yeah. So that. And but see, that's a plane above. Okay, so no, I need, well, yeah, because I could use the other one, right? So the other one is this one, so let's do that. So, or I could put them here, I guess. That's even higher though. Yeah, that's a bit high, but all right, well let's land this and let me just even see what that does. Oh, well. Why? Oh, maybe if I put them on both sides. I thought that it placed it on both sides. Oh, I don't have symmetry on it. So I'm like, why didn't that do that to both sides? Yeah, okay, cool. Done. Okay, now let's try it. Okay, so that is the right height for the bottom. So yeah, I mean it's docking, but it's not. You know, we don't want it to raise the height of it because this ramp is married to the bottom here already. So, and it's not even. Oh, I actually need the 4 one. All right, let's replace this with the correct one here. Oh, you're gonna annoy me, aren't you? Did I go under? Slightly. Yeah, so page down, like you were placing the blueprint or something. That's how you get those ramps to go down that one. Otherwise, they won't magnet lock. All right, so that's that. Let's see if there's a higher one now. I think that's the highest one though, right? Size 131, 132, 122, 121, and then we get into these non-cool ones. What are the light ones? Let me go back and look at the light ones because it was weird. It seemed like there was retractable for those too. Maybe there's some super high one. 133. Those are 3. 1, 2, 2, 1. They're all. Yeah, no, this is interesting though. Yeah, so like that, but you know, now I could. Yeah, I could close that. No, I can't. Those are kind of cool though, but they don't. You know, they look kind of flimsy for this, obviously. So keep it with the heavy ones. All right, so can't put them here. That's too high. This is that on the surface? No. So I can go 1 with these. Okay, so let's do that. 1. What do I have that's this? This? 1, 2, 2? Let's try that. So let's put you there. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. There we go. Then we'll put 1 in the front. Or I guess 2 in the front, right? So same deal here. Let's all right. That looks strong. Yeah, I like that. Really like the new ones. Now I wish I could. I wish they'd updated the ramp on the SV as well as the cool CV ramp. That'd be cool. All right, we're looking good. Yeah, so I think this is gonna be a good stopping point here for the stream. I'm an hour ahead of Eastern, so it's a bit past midnight here. I got work tomorrow, so I only placed one front. Oh, good call. Thank you. That's weird. I swore I did both of them. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, look at that. Alright, so let's give this a save. We're not gonna save it to the spade blade. That'd be a bad idea. What do I call this one? Cargo blade. There we go. Alright. So yeah, it's coming along. It's starting to take shape. I'm starting to like how big it is. It's you know, it's big, but it's starting to form some character here. So we're gonna continue manipulating the shapes. We're gonna add more detail to it. Um, color scheme. I kind of like this light color. The let's see here. Configure. Let's give it my default. Not that. Yes. Yeah. So wait again. So if you know, gray, the darker kind of. It's all right. I don't know. That's kind of cool. I've never released anything that color. It's kind of a army kind of. Black, you just lose the shape of stuff. It's just, it doesn't look as good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of digging how the white looks. I might make that my main color and then add some highlights. I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Could just do a blue. Look at that. Ah, God. Colors are rough. Yeah. Yeah, the default colors are bad. Everybody asks me why I just did gray, and that's why they all look bad. But definitely now we have all the colors, so it's just a matter of finding the ones you want. That's another tip, a little quick tip. If you go online and you just Google color codes, like color code orange or whatever, you'll get like a million different thing in the images search, and you take those numbers for that color code, and you can apply it to you know, like you could take this, you could like take one of these, and you could literally put those three numbers right here in these last three slots, and it'll give you, so you see red, green, and blue, and you just put the three numbers that are on your Google search, and you'll get that exact color. And you can apply that to your palette, and then you can save it as an extra palette or whatever. So you can literally get whatever colors you could ever want. If you want to color match anything, you know, if there's some, you know, if you're doing like Marine Corps colors, you could literally look up Marine Corps color codes and get the exact colors. Buddy of mine's an ex-Marine, so he likes to paint all this stuff in those colors. So you can do that with anything. Look up any military branch of any country or whatever, and you can get your exact flag colors and all that stuff. So just know that that's an easy thing to do. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it off at that. We got it saved up. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna back up my blueprint folder, and I should be streaming this soon, as soon as tomorrow night, probably same time. So as usual, I will announce in Discord, and yeah, that's it. Remember, this is part of the this month's challenge for the designers challenge. If you guys aren't part of my Discord, in the comments you can. Well, I'm gonna put the Discord in the comments once this gets over to YouTube. But otherwise, hit me up on Steam. Hit me up on Discord. Hit me up on Xfire. No, don't hit me up on Xfire. I'm not gonna respond to you. That's gone. But yeah, just hit me up and I'll give you guys a link. All right, until then, take care.